Good morning, guys. Welcome to Hardworking Parents Podcast. I'm Curtis and RJ.
Yep.
Can you
Oh, and
introduce
RJ
yourself?
Horner.
Yeah.
I didn't hear you finish your name.
Oh, that's funny. All right. So today we're going to talk about staying motivated when times are tough. Encouragement for hardworking parents. So let's start off the show right by saying our first dad joke. Okay. Why did the tired dad start carrying around a ladder everywhere?
Don't know.
Because he was told he needed to step up his parenting game.
Yes.
All
I like
right.
that one.
Perfect. So have you ever had any issues before, RJ, getting motivated or staying motivated being a parent?
Oh, always. Who doesn't as a parent, right? Like that's one of the biggest things is look, parenting is not easy,
Mm-mm.
right? So yeah, staying motivated, staying and yeah, I think you always question whether you are a good parent. Even if you are, I think you're still going to question it.
Right on. Yep. Well, it's not easy. It's not sunshine and rainbows and coloring drawings on the fridge, right? Sometimes you got to negotiate with your little dictator um, who gets upset with you because, you might have cut their sandwich into squares instead of triangles, which they really like, I guess. Some kids are like that. They're pretty strict with what they want. They're very dedicated, I guess. But we show up every day. We do the best we can, and that deserves a little bit of a standing ovation or a big hand clap for those parents who are having a tough time. But at least sometimes you get those coffee times uninterrupted, which is a beauty. I'm sure you've had those moments before with little ones running around or whatever. That's usually I find the toughest time is when the little ones are around. But as they grow up, things change, right? So
Absolutely. Yeah. Look, it's difficult for everyone, and getting through it is a challenge. But I think we do it for the moments that are joyful, right? Are
yeah.
relaxing, and
Hmm.
when everything's running smooth. But again, you have to go through the bad to appreciate the good.
Right on. Yeah, for sure. Have you ever had those moments where your kid was so demanding about something? Like,
Well, like I said, I come from a stepfather. My kids are grown now, right? They're adults, but I still remember their youth. And I'm a stepfather. So in the beginning, because I came to them when they were very young.
right.
But in the beginning, there was always that challenge of you're not my parent, right? So
Yeah.
yes, I've experienced lots of times where I don't have to listen to you.
Yeah. It's kind of like a authority type of thing, right? You
Yeah.
think? Yeah. Perfect.
And I don't care. I even believe, and I've seen it with other friends, is that your kids are going to challenge you, regardless of whether you're a step parent or
Hmm.
you're their mom or dad biologically. Your kids are going to grow to a stage where they're going to challenge you, right? They're going to try and see what they can get away with.
Yeah, for sure. It's like they push the limits, see what they can get away with. And being a good parent, obviously, you know the boundaries and you keep them, right?
Well, I had to learn those boundaries because and I think maybe because they weren't my biological children, right?
Yeah,
So
because
I
you're more
was
lenient,
always
you think?
looking from a place of my perspective rather than their perspective,
Hmm.
right? Whereas a mother and father automatically, I think, well, for most good parents, they're automatically going to start thinking that their child's needs first before their own, right?
Yeah.
Um, and so as a stepfather, I did have to learn that boundary that I need to put their care before the needs or the wants of myself.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Um, how about another dad joke? What do you
Yep,
think?
sure.
Okay, why did the overwhelmed mom start taking pictures of her grocery receipts? Because she
Don't.
needed proof that she was adulting like a champion.
Okay.
Some of these are groaners for sure. All right, so finding your North Star. In tough times, it's easy to lose sight what matters. Here are some gentle reminders to keep you grounded. Your kids don't need perfection, they need persistence. That Pinterest perfect craft project you've been stressing about, your kids would rather spend 15 minutes of undivided attention with you rather and building a blanket for it than you just being not there, right? So presence is pretty key to all the kids, I believe. Like, you know what, for me, my kid always wants me to do stuff with her and I do it. Like, she wants to build a fort, I go do it. She wants this, I help her out. So I don't really ignore her that often, I don't think. But
Hmm.
there are times like, hey, I'm busy doing something, I gotta do this
Hmm.
first. Like, you've seen her when I'm doing interviews or podcasts with us doing stuff or working, you'll see her pop in and say, "Hey, how's it going?" Right? So
Yeah, one of those, Daddy, I'm still here, right? You know that, right?
yeah, yep, yep. Well, I know we when we first started, we took a bunch of courses and stuff, and one of the ones we took was Circle of Trust, and it's just like so kids can check in with you and everything's okay. So you take a minute to make sure when the kid comes by, you say, "Oh, hey," how you recognize them, and ensure that that they're safe and they're loved and all that good stuff. So I found that was really a good course that we took, and even
Mhm.
still happens today. Like every once in a while, she'll be doing stuff on her computer or whatever, or on her phone. She'll stop, come up, give you a hug. It's like
Yep.
fantastic, just
And
random. It's like
and
it's
like
perfect.
like we say, you know what? I always love when London comes and joins us, and give her a wave and a smile,
Yeah.
But so yeah, like, and especially today in the digital world, right? We're all online, we're in meetings, we're working from home,
Hmm.
so your kids may be in your sphere, right? While you're trying to work, you're trying to accomplish things, but just giving them that moment, saying hi and yeah, I get it. And so when we're doing things in our business and our podcast, we
Yep.
give her that moment,
Hmm.
because to shoo her away, it might actually do some harm, right? You're destroying that bond that you guys have created. So
Yep.
we always acknowledge it, and you know you because I mean, sometimes you've gone, oh, sorry about that, and you know what? Why? You
Hmm.
know what I
Yeah.
mean? Because let's face it, our kids are there. So even I know parents out there, you might want to be in a professional meeting, right? You might
Right.
be dealing with, and you know what? Saying, all right, you know what? I love you, right? Give her that moment, give her that hug, or him,
Yep.
your child.
Yep.
Give her that attention for a couple of seconds, and then say, okay, but mommy's in a meeting right now,
Yep.
so you've
Yep.
given them that attention, and now they understand where your priority is, rather than, a lot of parents get out there, have the habit of, okay, but mommy's busy right now, or daddy's
Hmm.
busy right now, right? And that's what they hear, or that's what they see, rather than, I love you, I enjoy giving you your time,
Yep.
but here's my priority right now, and I will
100%.
get time, this. And you sometimes say, okay, it'll be about another 20 minutes, right? And then she knows she can have your full attention.
Yeah, for sure. She knows. She understands what's going on. So if you have any questions, just ask us in the chat, and we'll get to you as soon as we can. Sorry. All right. Next joke. Why did the busy dad start carrying around a jar of peanut butter?
No, don't know that one.
Because he wanted to remind himself that even when life gets nuts, he can still hold it together.
I
Pretty
like
funny.
that one.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, nuts. Hold the peanut butter nuts. Yep. All right. So let's go through some practical tips for staying motivated. First one is create your village. Even superheroes need backup sometimes. Don't hesitate to reach out to family, friends, or other parents. Sometimes just having someone who understands what you're going through can make all the difference. So, what's your thoughts about that? Getting help from other people that you know?
Yeah, look, you know what? As adults, especially males, we
Yep.
don't want to admit that other people, like, don't tell me how to raise my child, is a common expression out there, right?
Yep.
But again, they say it takes a village, right? And that's the
Yep.
whole point of this segment. Is it, rely on your friends and family who've already been there. That doesn't mean that I have to do what you say,
Yep.
right? It's my decision with my child. I get that. But you know what? Having some guidance, having some other options to choose when, especially when your child's being belligerent and I'm going to do this and putting this, having a tantrum,
Yeah, for sure.
how do other parents deal with that? And then maybe you can find some solutions that might work for you.
Yeah, for sure. And then, of course, you know what? You should also celebrate small wins. Make sure everyone get out the door. Like, when the kids trying to get out the door, make sure everyone has their shoes on. So it's kind of like a victory that every lunch is all done, your school time, all that stuff's ready to go. And then just being able to realize that, hey, you can do this type thing.
Awesome. Yeah, I
So,
like that one. And I was going to ask you to clarify because, yeah, I, we all have wins, right? But how do we acknowledge them? How do we, realize the fact? Okay, you know what? This was pretty good today.
yep. Yeah, just find something small. And sometimes it can be instantaneous. Like, hey, usually kids argues and fights to get their shoes on. Hey, they got the shoes on, like, first they hit, so get their shoes, we're leaving. It's like, Excellent job. Congratulations. Thank you for
Especially
finishing
when you
off
get
with
out the
it.
door and you realize, you know what, we're 5 minutes early this morning. Now I don't have to stress with the traffic on the way to school, right?
Yeah, or whatever it may be. I don't know what issue may be or what problems you might have for the day. But yeah, it kind of like gives you that small win that hey, I did something great today, or say something went well, right?
Mm,
And you just got to
absolutely.
recognize those small moments that it does make a difference. It's like, hey, I did something right, or hey, thank God the kid listened to me. Ooh. The next one is practicing self-compassion. Remember the grace you show your children when they make mistakes. Try extending some of that kindness to yourself. You're learning to grow too. So instead of
Mm.
being angry with yourself, and like, oh crap, this is crappy, or this is that other thing, just say, hey, I did okay today, and just be like have like good positive self-talk, right?
Yeah, like the one is, we always tell our children, well, some parents get upset when their children make a mess or tear something up or do things like that, right?
Yeah,
So in the interest of those parents, we try to tell our children, look, it's okay. These things happen. Don't worry about it. We'll clean up. We'll take care of it, right?
yeah,
Doing the same thing for yourself, when those things come along, instead of kicking yourself about it, cussing yourself, just tell yourself, you know what? Yeah, this happened. You know what I mean? Can't change it, but I can fix it.
yeah, for sure. Perfect. All right, next dad joke. Ready?
Yep.
Why did the exhausted parent start taking dance lessons?
Wanted to get his feet under him.
Because they heard parenting was all about the two-step process. Mess up and try again.
Yep, that was good.
Yeah, pretty good. All right, so let's go through this one here. Finding joy in chaos. Even in the toughest times, there's usually something to smile about if we work hard enough. The ridiculous answer kids give to you to simple questions. Sometimes they do have those like, hey, about this, and they give you a crazy explanation of how they see things, right? Sometimes you have creative excuses of not eating the vegetables you give them. You can check the kids that, hey, this broccoli is like eating trees, right? Like mini trees in your plate. Sometimes they mispronounce words, and it's even funnier. Have you ever had your kids say something? And it's like, oh my god, that is so funny because the way
Oh
they
yeah.
pronounce it or something is just
Yeah, I used to love the Steve Harvey show. The kids say the darndest things.
yeah,
And it's just things kids say, and they have a unique perspective, is a good way to put it, right? Like, because again, we learn things as we go along, right?
yeah,
And it's nice to see the childhood innocence of the way they see things, right?
yeah. Yeah, it's also with how they watch TV or they see things from their eyes. So sometimes they'll look at something and they think the world works a certain way, and it's like, no, 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 it's not like
and
cartoon.
and and here's a delicate topic around
Yep,
that subject, is that our kids are learning, right, when they're at that stage and they're watching TV, and so they hear things that they need an answer to, right? They'll ask
yep,
you a question, and it may or may not, especially because, I mean, there's a lot of sexuality on TV and
yeah,
things like that. They may ask you a question that you're not sure
yeah.
how to answer, or you're
Or it
not
could be
sure
a
if
tough.
you should answer, right?
Yeah,
You don't need to know that at this stage in your life.
true.
But I will say, you know what? Kids appreciate an answer, right? They want to learn, and telling them that they don't need to know that, or no, don't worry about that, um, and blowing it off,
Yeah,
is not really healthy for their growth. Yeah, you want to be delicate in how you explain things, but do your best to explain it and have that conversation with your child
yep,
at
yep,
that moment, because
yep.
they've asked at that moment.
Yeah, because they're present and they know what you're talking about. If we talk about it later, like, what was that? I don't remember that.
Yeah.
Right?
And like I
Because
said,
they moved
look,
on
if they don't learn it from us, they're going to learn it on the school ground, right?
or somewhere.
So
Yeah,
here's a way
probably
for
not.
us to kind of control what they learn.
Yep, perfect. That's a good idea. So the next step, let's go on to making time for yourself. Remember the airplane safety demonstration? Put your own oxygen mask on first. This isn't selfish, it's necessary. Taking care of yourself isn't a luxury, it's maintenance. You wouldn't expect your car to run without fuel, so why would you expect that from yourself? So here's some quick ideas for busy parents. Take a shower long enough to wash and condition your hair. It's always important. And of course, if you can enjoy your coffee while it's still hot, that's pretty awesome as well. Sometimes parents can get running it ragged, doing this and other thing, they forget about their coffee, leave it on the counter, come back, it's like, oh crap, it's all cold. Oh, microwave or have put some ice cubes in it, some iced coffee maybe. And then listening to your favorite music instead of Baby Shark during car rides. That's yeah, that's always a fun one. The kids like wants to hit repeat, repeat, repeat their song all the time, and you almost know all the words as a parent.
Mhm.
Another one is just take a couple deep breaths before responding to something. So then just give yourself a couple seconds, like take a minute, and then sometimes you could be like in a different state of mind after the fact. Write down one thing you did today well and keep it. Keeping the kids alive counts. So I guess something bloody kids, the hell do
If
you?
nothing else, right?
Yeah. Well, sometimes having kids can be quite hectic for sure.
Absolutely, yeah.
All right.
Yeah. And
Any
so
tips you have had
yeah, but just on that
for self
subject,
care?
look, you and I come from a place of, anger management, right? We're
Yeah.
we're both angry people at one point in our lives.
Yeah.
And we don't realize sometimes where that anger comes from, right? We
Right.
experience things, and it gets worse and it gets worse. And this is where that self-care comes in, just realizing that if I take 5 minutes for
Yeah.
myself, if I can get 20 minutes for myself, great. But taking 5 minutes to disconnect, like you say, have that coffee, sit on your balcony with, just enjoy nature. And enjoying nature, by the way, is a great way
Yeah.
to reconnect with the universe and with yourself. So making sure that just disconnect and finding self to breathe and relax.
Yeah. For sure, Jeff. Perfect. All right. Moving on to, well, there's also like finance stuff. We've covered that before. So just look at some of our previous podcasts. There's a
Yeah.
couple of things there we've done. That could be stressful for some parents too. Next one would be career challenge and family balance. Work life balance and career are certainly something to be balanced. Sometimes people have struggled with it. Some issues could be your children are learning resilience by watching you navigate challenges. It's okay to let them see you are working hard and taking breaks. So they learn by doing, right? Or watch how you're doing things. So how you act and how you behave is important. So if you get angry at something, traffic, then the kids when they grow up, they'll probably have the same reaction when you had bloody traffic or whatever.
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
mean, the kids kind
I,
of mimic
I
what we
when
do.
on that subject, that's exactly what came to mind as you were talking. Is
Yeah.
there's, I don't know if it's on, I think it's on Facebook, where you see a little kid, and he's in the back seat and something happens with his mom driving, and he goes, and cusses, and she's like,
Yep.
"What?" She's like, and then he's like, "Well, yeah, daddy does that, right?" So, but it's our kids mimic us. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
for
Our
sure.
kids
100%.
pick up things that we're saying, we're doing, and they will start to behave this way themselves. So,
Yeah, for sure.
yeah, watch what you do, watch how you respond. Um, and then, like I said, we've kind of talked about this already, but make
Hmm.
sure you give your kids the attention they deserve.
Yeah, for sure. So something else to think about is building resilience together. Tough times don't last forever, but tough parents do, especially after they had their coffee. It gives you a wake up, ready to roll.
Yeah, my
Um,
sister-in-law, my sister-in-law is mom. You know what I mean? As far as my nieces and nephews are concerned, she's mom. But you know what? She's also their best friend,
yeah,
because when she like, they spend lots of time together, because when she prioritizes them, right?
yeah,
So they can always go to
good.
mom. They have a great relationship with mom. But when it comes down to it, mom is the boss, right?
Yeah, for
So
sure.
knowing how to balance those two are kind of a delicate issue.
Absolutely. So another thing would be is that some other things you look at is like, any problems you have are temporary, and it's okay to ask for help. Could be your friend or someone else or someone that you know or online friend. You never know. Sometimes strength comes in many forms. You just never know where it's going to come from. It could be something within, something from else. My favorite one is laughter. Can help with anything. If something's
Hmm.
going hard, a little good little laugh, like some of the jokes we've talked about, a good giggle out of it, which is great, right?
Yeah.
And
Laughing increases your endorphins, which increases your mood and your high energy experience.
perfect. And then the next one would be family stick together. So no matter what happens in your life, you always have your family, right? As you get older, you have your kids coming in. They say, "Oh, Dad's here." Something could happen. They're really close, right?
And they say friends will come and go, or
Yep.
people will come and go in our lives, but family remains forever. And look, we can choose to abandon our family if that's what's, if that's, or disconnect from them, if in
Yep.
some families that happens. But these are the people who, if you really, care about each other and nurture each other, you build a strong bond. So when friends have come and gone, you
Yep.
still have each other.
Absolutely. 100% there. All right. So let's go through some of the ending here. So just remember, you're not just parenting, you're raising the next generation of resilient, compassionate humans. Every time you show up, try again and choose patience over perfection. You're teaching valuable lessons in life. So that's kind of like a good reminder of who we are as
And
parents.
if you don't mind,
Yeah, go ahead.
you'll hear the expression out there, it's easier said than done. But
Yep.
I think we've given several tips throughout this podcast today, of what you can do to check out, and get back to yourself so that you can respond appropriately rather than, aggressively in situations like this.
Absolutely. So just a little reminder here. Remember, you're doing better than you think you are. Those little eyes are watching you. They don't see the bills you're worried about or the career goals you're still chasing. They see their hero, the one who makes the best blanket forts, give the warmest hugs, and somehow knows exactly when they need the extra cookie or a longer bedtime story. So that's kind of like kids look at us way different than we expect them to look, right? We have a lot
Yeah.
of worries, we have a lot of problems in what we think, but to them, they see this is the amazing person in front of me all the time. And then we start reminding ourselves that's how we should be looking at our kids. Like, hey, I'm trying to help my child to be a better person in their life. Even though I might have my problems, they don't need to know everything, right?
Yeah.
About what I'm doing. And we're trying to motivate them to be a better person so that our futures will be better, which I think over time it has been for the most part, right? Any thoughts on that one about reminding yourself and how
I
to
I
treat the
think we've
kids?
covered that.
Okay.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
we've had a good discussion on, how to remain. Look, Curtis and I, like we said, we come from this area, right? We've had to learn how to be better people, right? We were frustrated with ourselves.
Yep.
We were experiencing the life stress, and it made us angry people. So
Yep.
we've learned how to, remain calm, how to remove negativity, how to, find those tips and tools that are going to make us a better person when it matters, because it
Yep.
is difficult. But at the same time, look, if you find that something here resonates with you, if you were an angry person once upon a time, or even experiencing that now,
Yep.
please recognize that you're not supposed to be this way. And like Curtis said, we have little eyes watching us, right?
Yep.
And they're going to pick up how we respond and
Mm-hmm.
maybe start responding that way themselves. So we are affecting their outcomes. Let's make it a positive one. Do
Yep.
what you can to change your ways. And for me, it was counseling. That was the very first step, is I needed somebody professionally to talk to.
Yep.
Gentlemen out there, please realize it's not a bad thing to start talking to somebody,
Mm-hmm.
especially when you are peeved off and angry with everyone around you. It's
Yep.
okay to talk to someone. Trust me, you will feel better in the end.
Yep. Yep. Just sometimes it's easier to talk to a stranger than someone you know, you know what I mean? And it's
Yep.
good to get it off your chest,
Yes.
100%. And just remember, guys, you got this. And on days when you don't feel like you got this, that's okay. Because tomorrow is another day and another chance to try again. So
Mhm.
just remember, you're better than you think you are.
So
So,
if I can talk about your
yep.
little comment here, because look, one of the frustrations of life, I don't know anybody out there who knows how to fold a fitted sheet.
Nope.
Um, Never worked for me. I kind of take them, try my best to fold them, and then I end up going like this, putting them down.
Freaking
Right?
ball.
Yep, because I don't know how they're supposed to be folded. If you could do a little YouTube video on how do you fold those sheets and make us all a little more peaceful and calm in that issue, I'd love to see it.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a video if you search for it, which is kind of funny with YouTube nowadays. Find just about anything. All right, guys, that is our show for today. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for next week's one. And there's also, I send a new newsletter every Thursday. You can check it out at hardworkingdad.club. It has several issues right now in there because we've been doing this for a little while. And we'll have this one in on Thursday. So if you want to read about what we talked about today, because some people have a better reading skills, and instead of watching video, you can follow up and sign up for that. If you're on YouTube today, please subscribe to the channel, ring the bell so you get notification next time we go live. That's awesome. And on Facebook, leave a comment and we'll get back to you. Any other closing comments for yourself, RJ?
Nope. Great. See you next
Perfect,
week.
guys. Thank you. Have a good one. Bye-bye.